One of my, and actually I think it is my best performing short, and I have multiple shorts about this. Um, One of my most best performing one is all about my street dogs that I have hired to guard our property. You may know them already as Stinky and Butch. Something to know about street dogs here in Ecuador is that they come in several varieties. Most of them are cowards and sweethearts, meaning they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to do bad things. They're hungry, and a little bit of food and kindness goes a long way. You don't need to kick them. Now, sometimes they get a little rambunctious when they get together in packs, which does happen. And yeah, they'll get aggressive. And there's plenty of stories of expats saying, "Oh, look at these sweet dogs playing on the beach. Oh, they're so cute," and then end up getting bit because the dogs are aggressive. So, it doesn't happen where I am very often. There's a set group with, shall we say, a set leadership thing going on in this neighborhood. And when I first moved here, I found one of the sweetest dogs, and she was so nice, and she's got her own owner, though. Her owner is not a very good owner because she is covered in ticks, man. Ticks and fleas, and she's always hungry. And I love her very much, but her owner got upset that she was spending too much time with us. So I don't bring her in too often, but I still love her. But then something else I noticed, because this property was, it's a family property, and it was in disrepair for a while. And the dogs were able to get into the property through the wall. And they would just make this place their home. The cats very much did. There was way too many cats here. But then these dogs every once in a while would come in and just run through the property in gay abandon. I'm telling you, they love it. They love it that they have a place to run around and just be dogs. Because most of this freaking place is concrete, and as a dog, probably not as much fun. So they got to dig some holes in real dirt, which I'll get to. But I want to tell you a story about how I hired two of the most effective guard dogs I have ever had. These are the two dogs that meet a completely different type as to the previous dog. The previous dog is Don Tina. Don Tina is crazy, but she's absolutely docile, right? She's a sweetheart. She's scared of everything. She barks a lot, but then she runs like hell. These two dogs are very quiet. One of them, Stinky, is old. She's obviously had many litters of puppies. Her bottom side just sags down. She's constantly hunched over. And when I first saw her, I was horrified because her back is covered in these huge black scars, like someone has poured hot oil on her. And she is extremely skittish around people. She's 100% doesn't like people. And if you try to get close to her, she will back away and she will growl. And if you try again, she will probably attack you. And your real problem, though, is coming from her best buddy, which is Butch. Butch weighs about 100 pounds. Doesn't sound like much, except for it's all muscle and bone. His head is that of a pit bull, but his tongue is that of a chow. Mixing a pit bull and a chow is a dangerous combination if you're looking for a loyal, kind dog. The willfulness of a chow and the destructive power of a chow and a pit bull put together. So he's a big guy, and he does not like anybody messing with his best friend, Stinky. And Stinky may actually be his mom. I'm not 100% sure because he's a young boy. He has a face, a head full of scars from fighting and doing other things he's not supposed to. And Butch will growl and attack you whenever he feels like it. But it's all about you. So when I saw these two dogs running around our property, running around and having a great time and everything, I also noticed that they don't take any crap from anybody, and that when Butch barks, the whole neighborhood takes notice. People and dogs. They are scared of him. And I'm like, that is the dog I want to hire. How do I hire dogs? By giving them things that they need, just like people. I give them food, but I also noticed that they were both covered in fleas and ticks. So much so that Stinky could barely get up when she laid down. She was just like so anemic. It was absolutely obvious. So we have a friend who's a veterinarian, and she came over to look at them from afar because she said, I am not going near those two dogs because they're scary. So she came over, she looked at them, she said, yes, they both need flea and tick medication. Here's some pills. You've got to get them those pills. Well, I started trying to feed them. And at first, I tried dog food. These callejeros, or street dogs, perros callejeros, are very picky about what they eat and very untrusting of who gives them food. So I had hot dogs, right? I tried dog food, not interested. Totally not interested in dog food. So I said, hey, every dog loves hot dogs or bologna or whatever, that nasty meat that smells really good. So I take a hot dog and I toss it, and Butch comes over and smells it, and then he just stares at me. And he's like, it's like he's saying to me, I don't know you, man. I am not eating this. I don't care how hungry I am. I'm not eating this because there's a lot of poisoning that goes on for street dogs and street cats. People poison them to lessen their numbers because they think that they are just disposable creatures, which I understand it, but it's really sad. So he wouldn't eat it. He wouldn't eat it. Dontina ate it because she already likes me, but he would not. And when he saw that Dontina ate it, and she was still alive, the next time I tried to feed him, he tested it and he ate it, but then he walked away. He's like, I don't know. We'll see. So the next time though, I had some leftover, very delicious meatballs. I made meatballs of pork and shrimp, and they were absolutely delicious, and I had some left over, and my guests at the house and my wife were horrified to find out that I took those delicious meatballs and set them out for these dogs in places around the property. So they came in, just like they always do, and they went to their special places around the property, and they found these meatballs, and they ate them. And those meatballs don't just smell like meatballs. They smell like me. I did this with some other food, and eventually they accepted the contract, meaning we will eat your food and we will start sleeping here overnight, because I would feed them in the morning early, so they'd sleep here overnight. They'd come looking for the food. And eventually I put bowls out for them and put food in the bowls next to bowls full of clean water every morning, and they like that a lot too. Now, I have had them here on the property for probably 8 months. They stay here almost all the time. And Butchy absolutely loves me. And I love Butchy. I can wrestle with that dog, right? I can grab him around the neck. He's awesome. He's a little terrifying when he plays because he's so strong. He doesn't understand how strong he is. He will take your whole arm in his mouth and he will pull you. And that hurts. But I don't yell at Butchie. I just say, hey, no. Because when there is stress in my voice, Butchie now responds like something's attacking the pack. And that's exactly what I always wanted, right? That's what I really want. You want to be part of the pack. If you want guard dogs, the guard dogs have to consider you part of the pack and hopefully the alpha. Me and Butchie go back and forth on who's the alpha, all right? I am usually the alpha, but sometimes, being a chow, he is a little resistant. But when it counts, when I caught a thief trying to climb my neighbor's wall across the street, I ran to the fence and I yelled at the guy in English. It didn't matter what I said. It was the sound of my voice. It is the fact that I never raised my voice. When Butchie heard that, I could hear him running, right? I could hear him running across the ground because he weighs that much. It's like a freaking horse. He leaps through the part of our fence that he comes through. He leapt through it. No barking, nothing. Just focused. And he went after that guy. And that guy took off, like terrified. Absolutely terrified. Butchie chased him all the way down the street. My neighbor, who's got cameras, he calls me up and says, "What just happened?" I think Butch just tried to kill someone. I'm like, yes, Butch did try to kill someone because he was trying to climb your fence. And the guy's like, "Wow, that's fantastic. Thanks so much." But yeah, that's one of my Butchie stories. And I've got another one. And if you're still interested, I'm just going to go through because, like I said, my most popular videos are about dogs, the street dogs. The other one is Butchie is not neutered. So Butchie, he got a lot of girlfriends, especially when it's that time of year, which is very often. He and another dog were chasing after a female that he wanted to be his girlfriend. And he fell into an open sewer with this other dog. So basically a really nasty standing thing of water, and he could not get out. He could not get up the sides. So all the people came out because the people, very often, most people love the street dogs because they're sweethearts and they are helpful and they do make noise when somebody's trying to do something bad, and they're helpful. So all these people came out. They're trying to help the dogs so they don't drown. They grab the other dog next to Butchie, pull him out, no problem, because he's your typical cowardly sweetheart street dog. Thank you so much, and he takes off. When they tried to grab Butchie, he tried to murder them. Yeah, and Butchie, he's got that pit bull. He's got a giant head. He's got a huge mouth and crushing jaws, and he tried to hurt people. He desperately was like, "I want to save my life, but I also want to kill you." So they had to throw a rope on him, pull him out, and then run like hell once he got out. So they took off. He comes back to the property, and all I know that's happened is he's covered in mud, which is more than mud. Ew. And he's got a rope around him. I'm like, "Oh, who tried to steal you, Butchie?" And then they tell me the story, and I'm like, yeah, that's typical Butchie. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I just wanted you to know how we came about getting the dogs. Well, I don't own these dogs. These are not my dogs. They are hired hands. That is it. And I thought you'd like to hear a little bit about their personalities. Talk to you later.